The moment Dan Patrick opened his mouth, the entire WNBA felt it like a shockwave ripping through a league already on edge. No warning, no filter. Just one sentence that hit like a grenade. Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA, not Angel Reese. And just like that, everything changed. Because this wasn't just another sports take. This was a line drawn in blood. Within seconds, clips started spreading like wildfire. Locker rooms went silent. Phones lit up. Teammates looked at each other, not saying a word but thinking the same thing. Did he really just say that? And more importantly, who's about to respond? Angel Reese didn't just hear it. She felt it. Every word. Every comparison. Every ounce of disrespect wrapped inside that statement. This wasn't criticism. This was public humiliation on a national stage. And the worst part? People weren't defending her. They were agreeing. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark. She didn't say a single word. Not one tweet. Not one reaction. Just silence. Cold, calculated, dangerous. Like she knew something the rest of the world didn't. And that silence. It made everything louder. Because behind the scenes, this wasn't just about two players anymore. This was about power, control, the future of the league, sponsors, media narratives, and a growing tension that had been building for months, now finally exploding into the open. But what Dan Patrick didn't realize was that his words didn't just spark a debate, they triggered a chain reaction no one was ready for. Long before Dan Patrick lit the match. The tension between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese was already simmering beneath the surface quiet. Dangerous and waiting for the right moment to explode. This wasn't just a rivalry. This was a collision of two completely different identities, two different journeys, and two completely different definitions of what it means to be the face of women's basketball. Angel Reese built her name on grit, on attitude, on unapologetic confidence that rubbed people the wrong way, but that was the point. She wasn't trying to be liked. She was trying to be respected. From LSU to the national spotlight, she embraced the villain role. Silencing doubters with rebounds, dominance in the paint, and a swagger the league had never quite seen before. Every stare down, every gesture wasn't just emotion. It was a message. I belong here. But Caitlin Clark, she didn't arrive loud. She arrived lethal. From Iowa to the WNBA, she carried something different, something almost surgical. Deep threes, unreal court vision, a calmness under pressure that felt unnatural. While Angel demanded attention, Caitlin commanded it without asking. And that contrast. That's where everything started to fracture. Because the media didn't just notice Caitlin, they elevated her. Fast, suddenly headlines weren't just about great players. They were about her. Record-breaking viewership, sold-out arenas, jerseys flying off shelves, analysts calling her generational. And with every new milestone, the spotlight shifted further and further away from everyone else, including Angel Reese. At first, it was subtle. A comment here, a look there. Post-game interviews that felt just a little more tense than usual. Angel smiling, but not fully. Responding, but with an edge. Because deep down, something didn't sit right. She had fought for this league, carried it, brought attitude, personality, fire. And now suddenly, it felt like the narrative had been rewritten overnight. And then came the comparisons, every debate show, every sports segment, every social media thread. It was always the same question, Caitlin or Angel. Not as equals, but as opposites. One rising, one fading. To Angel, it felt personal. To the media, it was content, and to the league, it was profit. But behind closed doors, the tension was getting harder to ignore. Teammates noticed it. Coaches felt it. Even veterans players who had seen everything started choosing sides without saying it out loud. Because this wasn't just about skill anymore. This was about identity. About who represents the WNBA moving forward. Was it the fiery, unapologetic force that Angel embodied? or the calm, unstoppable phenomenon that Caitlyn had become. And then, just when things couldn't get more divided, Caitlyn kept winning, breaking records, dominating games, drawing crowds the league had never seen before. Every performance felt like another statement hand. Every statement made the gap feel wider. Angel didn't slow down. If anything, she pushed harder, played tougher, talked louder. But somehow, the narrative didn't shift back. It only got louder on the other side. And that's when frustration started turning into something else, something sharper. Because this was no longer just about basketball. This was about respect, about recognition, about being erased in real time, and just when it felt like the tension might stay contained, like it would remain an unspoken rivalry simmering beneath the surface. Don Patrick said the one thing that turned all of it into open war. And what happened next? No one in the league could control anymore. The moment Don Patrick doubled down, it stopped being a debate and turned into a full-blown war. Because it wasn't just what he said, it was how he said it. No hesitation, no respect buffer, just raw, unfiltered dismissal. Angel Reese is not on Caitlyn Clark's level, not even close. And just like that, the entire league split in half. But here's where everything took a turn no one saw coming. Angel Reese didn't stay quiet. Within hours, cryptic posts started appearing. No names, no direct shots. But everyone knew exactly who and what they were about. Words like respect, narratives, favoritism, and one line that hit harder than anything else. Some of us gotta work twice as hard for half the credit. That was it. Social media detonated. Fans weren't just debating anymore. They were picking sides like it was a championship series. Hashtag Team Angel versus hashtag Team Caitlyn started trending. Old clips resurfaced. Interviews got dissected frame by frame. Every look, every gesture, every past comment suddenly meant something bigger. And then, insiders started talking. Reports leaked that Angel was furious behind the scenes. Not just at Dan Patrick, but at the media machine that, in her eyes, had already crowned Caitlyn Clark before the season even finished. Sources claimed locker room conversations were getting heated, that some players felt the coverage was becoming one-sided. That real respect was quietly disappearing. But the real shock? Some players agreed with Dan Patrick, quietly, privately. But enough to make it dangerous, because now, this wasn't just Angel versus Caitlyn. This was players versus players, narratives versus reality. And right in the middle of it all, Caitlyn Clark still hadn't said a word, no tweets, no interviews addressing it, nothing, just game after game, performance after performance, like none of it existed. And somehow, that silence hit harder than any response could. Because while Angel was fighting for recognition, Caitlyn was stacking proof. Then came the moment that flipped everything upside down. Closed-door media session meant to stay private somehow leaked. And what was said inside? It changed the entire story. A veteran analyst, someone deeply connected within league circles, didn't just agree with Dan Patrick. He went further. He claimed on record that the WNBA was actively leaning into Caitlyn Clark as the face of the league. Marketing pushes, broadcast priorities, narrative shaping. All of it not accidental, strategic, calculated, and suddenly, Angel Reese's frustration didn't look emotional anymore. It looked justified. Because if that was true, if the league itself was quietly choosing a side, then this wasn't a fair fight. This was controlled, manufactured, engineered, and the second that clip hit the internet, everything exploded again. Fans started questioning the league, accusing it of bias, of playing favorites, of building a superstar at the expense of others. Debates turned into outrage. Outrage turned into conspiracy, and Angel, she didn't hold back this time. In a tense, borderline explosive interview, she finally addressed it without filters, saying she's been disrespected, overlooked, and used for headlines, but not given credit. Her voice steady, but her eyes said everything else. This wasn't frustration anymore. This was personal. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark walked onto the court that same night and delivered one of the most dominant performances of the season. No response, just dominance. And that's when the first real questions started creeping into everyone's mind. What if Don Patrick didn't start this fire? What if he just exposed something that was already burning behind the scenes? Because now, the league wasn't just dealing with a rivalry. It was dealing with a fracture, one that was spreading fast. It was about to get even worse by the next morning. The situation wasn't just tense, it was radioactive. What started as a single comment had now spiraled into something the WNBA couldn't contain. Analysts were arguing live on air. Former players were taking sides. Even coaches usually silent in moments like this started slipping subtle shots into press conferences. And behind all of it, one question kept echoing louder and louder. Is the league being built around Caitlin Clark? On purpose? Because now, the evidence didn't feel like coincidence anymore. Broadcast schedules were dissected. Caitlin's games, prime slots, national coverage, heavy promotion, Angel's games, less spotlight, less noise. Fans started posting side-by-side comparisons, breaking down airtime, marketing pushes, even social media engagement from official league accounts. And the more people looked, the worse it started to look. Then came the second twist, the one that pushed everything over the edge. A leaked internal email. At first, people thought it was fake. Too convenient. Too perfectly timed. But within hours, multiple insiders confirmed which was real. Within hours, multiple insiders confirmed which was real. And what it revealed shook everything. The email, allegedly from a high-level league marketing executive, outlined a strategy. Not directly naming Caitlin Clark as the chosen one, but it didn't have to. Phrases like capitalize on her momentum, center narratives around emerging star, and the most explosive line of all, focus storytelling on marketable personalities that drive ratings. Marketable. That one word ignited a firestorm because now, the conversation wasn't just about basketball anymore. It was about image, about who gets pushed, and why. And suddenly, Angel Reese's earlier comments hit completely different. Some of us gotta work twice as hard. That wasn't frustration, that was exposure. Players around the league started reacting carefully but clearly. Subtle tweets, liked posts, cryptic captions. It didn't take much to see the pattern. Not everyone was comfortable with what was happening, and for the first time, Caitlin Clark's name wasn't just being praised, it was being questioned, not her talent. No one could deny that, but the system around her. Was she being elevated or protected? And right when the pressure started creeping toward her, she finally spoke. Post-game interview. Cameras flashing, reporters waiting. The question came fast. Do you feel like the league is being built around you? A pause, just long enough to matter. Then she answered, calm, controlled, but with an edge no one expected. I just play basketball. I don't control narratives, but I've earned everything I've gotten. Earned. That word landed hard. Because depending on who you asked, that statement either shut the noise down or made everything worse. Angel Reese saw it. Everyone knew she saw it. And this time, she didn't go cryptic. Within minutes, she posted, no shortcuts. No favors, just real work. No names. But no doubt either. And just like that, the rivalry turned direct. No filters. No pretending. Just two stars. Narratives colliding in real time with the entire league watching. Locker rooms started splitting more visibly now. Some players openly supporting Angel, others staying neutral but noticeably distant. Team dynamics shifted. Media pressure intensified. Every game between them, more even near them, felt like a playoff atmosphere. But behind all the chaos, something even bigger was building. Sponsors. Executives. League. Officials, they weren't just watching anymore. They were worried because this wasn't just drama. This was brand damage, and the deeper this went, the harder it would be to control. But the most dangerous part, neither side was backing down. Not Angel, who now felt completely validated. Not Caitlin, who was still proving herself every single night. And definitely not the media, who were feeding off every second of it, because now, this wasn't just a rivalry, it was a power struggle, and it was about to spill into a place no one expected. A place where careers wouldn't just be questioned. They'd be threatened at this point. The WNBA wasn't just trending, it was unraveling in real time. What should have been a celebration of rising stars had turned into a full-blown public divide, and the fans, they weren't holding back anymore. Every game, every post, every interview became ammunition. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds. Analysts weren't analyzing, they were choosing sides. And the league, once united under growth and progress, now felt like it was splitting down the middle. Hashtag Team Angel. Team Caitlin. There was no in-between. Angel Reese walked into arenas now with a different kind of energy surrounding her. Louder boos in some cities. Louder cheers in others. Every rebound, every stare, every reaction magnified, scrutinized, twisted into narratives before she even stepped off the court. You could see it on her face. The pressure wasn't just physical anymore. It was psychological. Because now, she wasn't just playing to win, she was playing to prove something every single night. And Caitlin Clark, the spotlight on her had reached a level that started to feel suffocating. Cameras followed everything, every pass, every miss, every expression. She was no longer just a player, she was the story. And while her performances stayed elite, the noise around her got louder, sharper, more personal. Some fans started turning, not against her talent, but against what she represented. Privilege, favoritism, a system that, whether intentional or not, seemed to lift her higher while others fought to be seen. And that shift, it changed everything. Because now even her silence was being criticized. Why isn't she addressing it? Why isn't she defending her peers? Why does she benefit, but never speak on it? Questions that didn't exist before now followed her everywhere. Inside the league, things were getting even more tense. Reports surfaced of heated locker room discussions. Not fights, but close. Teammates frustrated. Some defending Caitlin. Others quietly aligning with Angel. Practices felt different, colder. Conversations shorter. Trust thinner. And then came the moment that truly exposed how deep this had gone. A nationally televised game, high stakes, packed arena, millions watching. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark on the same floor. From the opening tip, the energy was different. Not competitive, hostile. Every possession felt personal. Every foul felt intentional. Players weren't just playing. They were sending messages. And then happened. Hard foul. To hard. Angel hits the floor. The crowd gasps. Teammates rush in. And for a split second, it looks like everything is about to explode. Players chest to chest. Words exchanged. Officials scrambling. Coaches yelling. The arena buzzing with chaos. And right in the middle of it, Caitlin Clark, standing still, watching, no reaction, no movement. Just observing. That image spread instantly. Clips slowed down, zoomed in, replayed from every angle, and the narrative. It split again. Some said she stayed composed. Others said she stayed silent. Too silent, an angel. She got up, but something had changed. Not just anger, something deeper. Because in that moment, it wasn't just about a foul. It was about everything leading up to it, the comments, the comparisons, the leaks, the silence, and as the game continued, one thing became painfully clear. This wasn't going away. If anything, it was about to reach a breaking point no one could stop. Just when it felt like the league couldn't take another hit, everything flipped again. Because behind the chaos, behind the viral clips, behind the arguments and accusations, something much bigger had been quietly developing out of sight. And then it leaked. Not a tweet, not a rumor, a meeting, a closed-door high-level meeting between WNBA executives, media partners, and key stakeholders never meant to go public. But someone inside decided otherwise. And what came out of that room didn't just shake the narrative. It shattered it. According to multiple reports, the league wasn't just aware of the Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese divide. They were tracking it, monitoring engagement, measuring fan reactions, studying the rivalry like data because it was driving numbers, massive numbers. Viewership spikes, social media explosions, jersey sales through the roof. Every argument, every headline, every ounce of tension it was feeding the machine. And instead of shutting it down, they leaned into it, carefully, quietly, strategically. And that's when the real twist hit. This rivalry wasn't just happening, it was being amplified. Not scripted, but nudged, encouraged, positioned to grow. Segments pushed, matchups highlighted, narratives framed just enough to keep the fire burning, but never enough to take the blame. And suddenly, everything started making sense. The timing of Dan Patrick's comments, the media, pylon, the selective, coverage. The silence from the league. It wasn't random. It was beneficial. And once fans realized that, outrage turned into something even more dangerous: distrust. Because now the question wasn't who's better. It was who's being used. Was Caitlin Clark the face of a carefully built empire? Or was she just the most visible piece in a much larger system? Was Angel Reese being overlooked? Or intentionally positioned as the villain to keep the story alive? And the most chilling part? Neither of them confirmed anything. But they didn't deny it either. Then came the final moment. The one that left the entire league holding its breath. Post-game press conference. Angel Reese sat down, visibly composed, but different. No fire, no sarcasm. Just a quiet intensity that felt heavier than anything she'd shown before. Reporter asked the question everyone was thinking. Do you feel like this rivalry is being used? A pause. Longer than usual. Then she leaned forward, looked directly into the cameras, and said, I think some things aren't as real as people think. That was it. No names, no explanation. Just enough to send shockwaves through the entire sports world. Because what did that mean? Was she exposing the league? Calling out the media? Or hinting at something even deeper? Something no one had uncovered yet. And Caitlin Clark. Hours later, she posted one sentence, no context, no caption, just, stay focused, ow. The internet is spiraling, fans digging, analysts speculating, players staying unusually quiet because it feels like something bigger is coming, something that hasn't fully surfaced. Yet, and if what Angel hinted at is true, then this rivalry, this drama, this entire explosion might only be the beginning. So now the question isn't just who's better. It's what's actually happening behind the scenes, because what started as a simple comment from Dan Patrick has now turned into one of the most explosive situations the WNBA has ever seen. Lines have been drawn. Reputations are on the line. And the truth. It still feels just out of reach. Is Caitlin Clark really the undisputed face of the league? Or is there a bigger system pushing her to the top? Is Angel Reese being disrespected? Or is she exposing something nobody else has the courage to say out loud? And most importantly, is this rivalry real? Or is it being fueled for something much bigger? I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, no filters. Pick a side or break it all down your own way. Because this conversation, it's far from over. And if you think this is where it ends, you're not paying attention. Make sure you like, subscribe, and stay locked in, because the next twist in this story might change everything we thought we knew about the WNBA. And when it drops, you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it.